And we are live. Oxy, you're mid.
Alrighty, we are live, and as we said, the first thing we can see is Kritzkrieg for Ascension, Medigun for VD, so that is certainly going to change how things play up. We do see Ascension with a bit of a faster rollout, with Spam already being traded across the point. Massive bomb in from Basty, but he gets denied by Ferrella. Great job by him, and we do see Basty being the only frag taken so far, with Yuki actually catching a nice sticky there onto Phyllis McBean. So he goes down, and a few more just being traded. A lot of aggression coming out of these both two teams, and with the Kritzkrieg up now for Ascension, they're going to want to use this, and it does come out onto the Demo Man. Can he get any picks with it? He gets one. He gets Yuki, the Demo Man, for VD, but aside from that, this looks like it's going to be Ascension's point. A lot of aggression coming out of Ascension, especially due to that Kritzkrieg play, but with the Medigun up now for VD, they're going to be looking to get their people back up, back ready to go and push out and try to take this point. What can you see, Obla?
I can see that VD certainly does have the player advantage, and we can see them pushing up onto Cliff right now with this Uber, and it is popped on the scout, I believe.
We just see the Uber coming out, but just getting denied by Phyllis McBean, blasting Vinty all the way back over the points. That is very embarrassing. We just see Jono now pushing out and dealing that damage onto Phyllis McBean, getting that revenge with a lot of frags down at the moment for Ascension with only 3 people up. This is very decisively VD's point, and it's going to be very imperative for Ascension to push back out. And we can see the sniper is getting a nice body shot onto Vinty, so that's going to be a significant advantage onto that Kritzkrieg. 4 days, and it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of play in with that.
Daze is continuing on to his Kritzkrieg reign with a approximately 40% advantage over VD. And did you see Basty's huge bomb onto Daze before?
I didn't quite catch that, unfortunately. I was looking at Mojo getting a nice move around stab onto the heavy. But now we see Ascension coming back and taking this point. A lot of aggression out of Ascension. Like a lot of aggression, which is surprising. I thought they might want to take it slow, but it seems like they're just wanting to get a lot of aggression, keep the gameplay fast. And we can see now that Dazed is used his Kritzkrieg going down the right side. And can he get any frags? He gets one onto Snowblind, the scout, for VD. And with a few more being taken down, Basty goes down to the nice crit sticky there. But with only a few down for either team, it seems like Daze has gone down, so it's going to be a significant 60%, 70% advantage for Ascension, and they want to slowly muscle out Ascension and try to get control of this point.
We do see that VD does have the player advantage, and they are capping this point, and the times are pretty advantageous to VD, to Ascension, but VD does have the point right now, and we'll see how long they can hold this point.
Definitely. We can see Ascension kind of coming down from lower cliff, trying to get a bit of spam on. We do see the Uber now coming out from Vinty, and can he get any frags with it? Yuki gets one onto Mojo, which I'm not sure if that was a deliberate frag or just pure luck. But we do see Ascension to certainly push back, but they do have the, they are about 60% on that Kritzkrieg. So they are looking to try to muscle VD out, and VD know about that. They didn't get Daze down, so they're going to be very wary of this Kritzkrieg advantage. And with the Kritzkrieg just coming up now, it's going to be very imperative for them to get back and make sure they don't get dropped by this Kritzkrieg. With frags being traded between the two. And we do see Swallowcon coming in and getting 2 nice crit stickies onto NG and onto Jono. And this looks like it's going to be the opportune chance for Ascension to try to get out. But with the heavy going down for Ascension, this is going to be very important. Nice pick there by Edge onto that heavy, denying that aggression from Ascension. But VD don't really seem to want to contest this, with only really the engineer and the sniper trying to get on that, with JT getting a nice snipe onto Basty there. What can you see, Obla?
I see that now Ascension does have control of the point, and Ascension does have player advantage. I am very excited about that crits play that they did pick up the medic that time. But unfortunately, Dave did go down to an over.
One thing that's certainly noticeable with both meds up now, it's relative, but because that Kritzkrieg has that faster build time, they're going to have it definitely before Vinty can gain his medigun. But it seems like they're just looking to try to trade a bit of spam, but with Diley getting very aggressive onto Yuki and just taking him down. Very aggressive play coming out of Ascension's scout there, but with VD now just looking to kind of come on the point. We do see the the crits coming out from Ascension here. They get one onto Edge, so that's the sniper down, and they also get one onto T-Son, so that's going to be a lot of that cause pushing ability and a lot of denying of the Ascension aggression gone from VD. With the heavy down and with the engineer, they call me Engie, just shotgunning down Anchor, just getting lots of nice solid shots onto him. Really, really good work by They Call Me Engie. Really solid aggressive play by VD, and they didn't have to use this Uber, so that's a significant advantage to them.
Vinti is now alone and does have to pop alone on the point after dropping his heavy and his demo.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Good, nice headshot from JT there on to Jono and just delaying a lot of aggression, forcing Vinti into popping. Right now, it's a very, very equal fight. It's anyone's game with about 30 seconds on the clock for both teams. It's imperative that both teams have a good crits or a good Uber. But with the crits creek just coming up now for Ascension, this is going to be crucial. With several players down, around 3 for Ascension, they're going to need to try to contest this point. And I don't know what's going on because it's about 40% advantage. There's only 40% for Vinti, so they're wary of this crits. They need to cap it. They know they need to get on it, and they're just risking it anyway. With a lot of aggression coming out from VD with about equal frags on both teams. But with the medic down for Ascension, this is going to be a significant heals advantage for VD. And they're going to try to hold this with about 20 seconds on the clock. Ascension needs to get out here. They need to contest this. But T-Sun just reflecting pipes back and forth and landing on JT with a lovely pipe. But this is VD, Ascension coming out onto the point, but with VD having their Uber very, very soon, they're willing to hold this, not get anyone killed and try to re-push back. And you're going to take this final push on me, Obla.
And there's 8 seconds left on the clock, and Vinti does have Uber, and he does probably moving on to the point with a scout and an edge and a pirate. There's a full team bomb onto the point, and it seems like this may be round.
Wow, with so many frags onto Ascension, they aren't able to contest this, and that is going to look like the round to VD. They're coming out now trying to get bodies onto it, but this is such high energy round, as expected. This is such high energy play from both teams.
And get tossed into yeah, that was an extremely close round. What do you think, Oxy?
Oh wow, just looking at the scores already, you know, They Call Me Engie on 37. As I mentioned, like his Engie play is going to be so crucial, and you could just see that aggression coming out of both teams, and I almost lost for breath. But really, really good work there by Vinti. Really nice to see that he was confident in his team. He didn't need to switch over to that crits. You know, these are two of the best teams in Australian Platinum, and this is what you would expect. Such high level play. Huge bomb in from Basty getting popped into the skybox, but he doesn't go down, unfortunately. Katie getting a nice shot, or JT getting a nice headshot onto Jono, and Mojo getting a revolvering down edge there. So significant body loss for VD, unfortunately. But with both meds up and the crits creek just come out for Ascension. Oh, and Vinti just gets pistoled down by Mojo. Really good play by Mojo. They're getting behind enemy lines and just pistoling down. We do have the crits creek coming out now from Cindy. Let's see what he can get with it. He's able to get one nice pipe onto Jono, but with Basty getting a nice rocket onto Dazed, it's going to be a Uber advantage currently to VD with a very minimal Uber, so let's hope they can make advantage of this and push out.
I want to see how they play the spawns on Viaduct. If you do not know, the team which does have the point do have longer spawns. I want to see how they play this to their advantage. In this case, VD.
Yeah, we can see that Dazed only just started building with Mojo down for Ascension. This is going to be a good time for VD to push out without feeling like they need to be turned around and watching their backs. But we do see the demo man getting very aggressive from Ascension. Look at he headshot down by Edge. Nice pick there, certainly good delay in the aggression. But we do see so many down for VD at the moment with only Vindy, Yuki, Basti and Snow lined up. This is really not going to be a decisive point for them, and certainly Ascension are able to hold on to this point with a minute and a half on the clock and no time cap for VD. They're very, very wary of needing to use this Uber, and with VD on full Uber and Ascension is reaching their full crit streak, this is what it's going to come down to. And we do see the exchange going out on the point here with a few frags going the way of VD, and it seems like the body advantage is going the way of VD, and they're able to take this point. And we do see the crits now coming out of Ascension. What can they get with it? They call me Engie, but they don't seem to get any other frags. And VD just wiping up Ascension at the moment. Wow, Snowblind on a 6k. Really, really strong work by him. And I'm losing my voice, and I've had a coffee. So do you want to take this one from me, Obs?
Sure thing. I am looking at Vinti right now on the point with half his team, and they look like they have very, very good they do have this point very secure.
Lost for words there yourself, Obs. And we do see Ascension.
This is some very exciting play.
We do see Ascension now with their spawns kind of coming out, looking to kind of trade this point with just coming up to 2 minutes roughly on the clock for VD and a minute and a half on the point for Ascension. This is anyone's game at the moment, and with Dazed only just coming up and building, and Vinti with a full Uber advantage, they're going to want to use this defensively and try to mop up Dazed before anything happened. And we do see, they call me NG's mini sentry, just making quick work of Mojo there.
I'm not too sure if BD knows that they do have a 60% advantage of Uber over Ascension's crits. I want to see how they do play this.
Yeah, we do see Ascension getting very aggressive lower cliff, which is surprising. They're very well aware of the advantage that VD have, but VD are just paying Ascension so much respect in terms of not wanting to use this, and Ascension are clearly getting aggressive and trying to do that with JT getting a nice snipe onto Yuki, but T-Son replying with a nice flare crit onto Paulson, the soldier for Ascension.
And the crits is popped.
And we do see the crits pop, but the Uber hasn't been used there. And Vinti, oh wait, no, the Uber was used. I was going to say, and Vinti doesn't use it to save, but unfortunately, so many down for VD at the moment. Ascension is coming in and showing them what makes them the top seed, just with so much high-level aggression, just not giving VD any time to get a strategized push in or anything like that, just coming in and getting so much aggression down onto VD. And with a minute on the clock for both teams, it's certainly going to be imperative for VD to try to push back out and take this midpoint from Ascension.
The timers are now both at approximately 1 minute, and Ascension is on the point, securing a very, very good defense of this midpoint, and we do see pipes being sprayed all over the point. And is this a pause we see?
We do see a pause coming in. I'm not sure who has dropped, but just some things to note while we've got some time to get a pause, get our breaths back, is that Vinti is pushing lower cliff with about 50% minigun, and we do see Dazed is on about 90% crits creek, and he's going to have it come up now. And with the pause coming up, he's going to be wanting to use his crits very effectively, and they are using it now. Aiming pipes at lower cliff, getting the heavy Jono and the demo man Yuki. Such aggression coming out there.
And the crits does get popped, but I do not feel that they have obtained anything. And Basty goes for a big bomb and does take down Daze. This is very, very high level play, but both medics are not up. And we have 30 seconds left on the clock for Ascension. It's very, very, very exciting to see what VD will be doing here.
Great work from Basty there, coming out, getting a very nice pick, and good work from Edge, getting a nice snipe onto Hyper. That's going to be a lack of mini sentry from Ascension, so it's going to make it nice and easy for Basty to get some good jumps in. But the stray pipe taking down T-Son and the sentry gun for their Call Me NG, and with Mojo getting a nice stab onto Yuki there behind enemy lines. It's going to be looking down who gets frags, and VD need to push now if they want to go. With no teams having Uber or crits, it's going to come down to pure DM, and Ascension take this round. VD just weren't able to get out there and to contest that point, and that is 1-1 on Koth. Whew, let's see how this mid goes. Do you want to take this mid for us, Obs?
Sure, I'm looking at Yuki, and he is rolling out Cliff, and he seems slightly faster than the other oh no, I'm mistaken. He is slightly slower than the other demo, and he's spraying stickies all over the point. And we have a huge jump from the red soldier, and I'm not seeing too much happening. Ooh, Edge does take down the pirate of the other team, and Edge does take down Dilly as well.
Yeah, we do see that both snipers, when they first came out, both got entry frags onto each other, but Edge was able to secure that second frag, so that's going to be a body advantage for VD especially. But just that crits creek is going to be coming up very soon for Ascension. They're going to have 100% very soon, but so many bodies are down for Ascension at the moment with their demo and their sniper down. This is going to be a significant lack in pushing force, and this is going to be a decisive mid for VD, with Ascension not really looking to commit any more bodies to this, because they know they have that crits creek. They know they can re-push this point. They don't want to commit anyone else to this point, because they don't want this to turn into a 10-second advantage on the point for VD into a 2-minute advantage or a 1-minute advantage.
And Ascension has a and crits does get popped on Ascension. Wow, and Basey does get taken down, and the Uber does get popped from VD. I don't think this crits will be doing. We'll have a lot of effect.
Just looking at that crits play, the demo must have held down his button for too long, because it just sailed right past Vinti, unfortunately, because he couldn't see where Vinti was, and it just missed Vinti. So, very, very lucky Vinti was there. I saw T-Son caught the bit of the splash from that. But we do see significant frags coming out onto Ascension, and with both teams now just resetting those Ubers, resetting those mediguns, and with crits creek on 70% for Ascension, they're going to be wanting to look to push out this right now. But Daze gets taken down with a bomb from Basty, showing why he's one of the best Highlander soldiers, and just securing that nice frag, giving his team that significant Uber advantage. And while they committed a fair amount of bodies to that point, it was still very, very good. And Edge just gets that snipe onto Mojo and the body shot onto JT, which is going to mean a significant lack in push advantage from Ascension. And with that Uber just coming up to about 100% now, VD are going to look to hold this point very, very, very solidly.
I do want to see how Ascension does play this with 1.5 minutes for VD and a full 3 minutes for Ascension. Are they going to wait for the 60% Uber, or are you going to dry push this while the force does come out of VD? What do you think?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, there's so many frags being traded at this point. It's anyone's game at the moment. Like, VD are coming out with some really concise plays, but then Ascension is getting super duper aggressive. And you can see that when VD took the first round, Ascension came out. They were mad. They're not going home without a fight. They want this. And we do see now frags being traded across the point with the crits being popped and getting three, getting Vinti, Snowblind, and Yuki with crits. And Ascension are coming out now. They are not happy with only 2 up at the moment. For VD, this is obviously going to be Ascension's point, but with them only just getting time on the point now in 50 seconds, and only 50 seconds left for VD, they are well aware that they can't afford to make any mistakes on this point. They need to get out there, and they need to get aggressive, and they need to get kills, or else they're going to lose this round.
A full 2-minute advantage. I'm looking at simple JT, sniping from the right-hand side, and he doesn't appear to get anything.
And we do see now Vinti just muscling up on to the point with only 50% on that Crits Creek for Dazed and 50% on the Crits Creek for Vinti. Both teams are on Crits Creek. Vinti's well aware of the time limit. He's probably thinking he doesn't have enough time to build it and he wants to just change things up, get super duper aggressive. And we do see now that Mojo gets taken down from a bomb from Basti. And we can see now that both teams are going to have their Crits Creek up. With the Crits Creek first coming up for Ascension, it's going to be interesting to see who pops it first. Ascension don't know they got this Crits Creek coming, so VD are going to want to use it, and Ascension has popped their Crits Creek now, and we're waiting for the counter crits. The counter crits does come out and gets a lot of good frags, but Swally gets Vinti and someone else with that frag. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Gets Basty as well with that frag. And we just see another pause coming out on the point. I do believe it was due to Mojo having some ping issues, unfortunately. So he's probably had to reset his router while that all gets sorted. But as we can see now, a lot of frags going the way of VD, and they're just pushing out now. And this looks like it's going to be the point for VD with the engineer already on the cap. So it's going to be important that Ascension's players can get out of this, save their lives, wait for a solid repush, or else this could be the round for them. They could get a solid hold, and we do see the unpause coming out now. And with some of VD's players on a 20-second spawn, this is going to be very, very important that they get out there. But that changed now to a 3-second spawn because of that point advantage. And they are going to be coming up now with Dazed starting to build and Vinti only just coming up. So this is going to be important for Ascension to push out here. And my HUD is broken, so I cannot track any of the times, but that is fine. I'm able to track kills. And we do see Edge getting a nice body shot on the Diley and Snowblind getting a nice shot onto Mojo. But we do see entry frags just being traded between the two teams. Ascension pushing back, trying to get on the cap, and VD are pushing up to contest this with Jono on the point, opening up space for his team. And with about 4 or 5 people going down for Ascension, and with 10 seconds on the clock, they need to come back and contest this. And with the Crits Creek coming out now for both teams, this is going to be some clutch Crits Creek plays coming out of both teams. But with so many people down for Ascension, this is going to be VD's round. And awesome round from both teams. Super high aggression. And this is going to be it. If VD take this round, they've taken this first map. And I think Ascension are very well aware of the aggression. And you can take this mid, Obla.
Perhaps that Crits was a bit too late. I am watching Dazed come up on the left-hand side and Jono up on the cliff, and Yuki is on the point, up really, really close with the other demo, and he is on 86 health, and does get sniped by simple JT, and JT is just standing there next to his medic.
One thing to note is Mojo is already behind enemy lines. He's on the cliff, but he gets called out by They Call Me NG, and he just gets shotgunned down. And this point looks like it's going to be Ascensions with the demo man Yuki only just coming up, as well as Snowblind only just come up. The IM duo only just spawning for VD. But with the scout on cliff from Ascension with so much aggression, just taking down that sentry, and that's going to be the point. Only just catch up, but they've committed too many bodies to this. Ascension only 4 up at the moment. VD could easily come in and contest this with a full Crits Creek only just coming up now. They can easily contest this point and get cap time on it, and that's what they're going to do.
I am very, very excited to see both teams playing Crits Creek, and VD does have the Crits Creek. I want to see if they do push up despite their point being in their possession.
Definitely. And we do see now Mojo behind getting a nice backstep onto Vindy and a backstep onto Jono. Mojo with a 2k, opening up space for his team there, really allowing them to get in and try to take this point down. And with a 50% Kritzkrieg advantage 2 days, it's going to be imperative that they push out onto the point and try to use this body advantage while they can. With about equal time on the point for both teams, it's certainly going to come down to Ascension trying to muscle out this team and see what they can do here.
I am waiting for Cindy to come out from middle, and with this crits that Daze does have, and I do actually want to see if they push up despite them having the point.
And we do see at the moment the Kritzkrieg has not been used yet,
and
but Cindy is calling it, and it does come out now. Can you get any frags with it? VD no, and they backed off straight away, only getting a frag onto Dorky and onto Edge, the sniper and spy combo for VD. So VD are going to look out to probably try to push out and recontest. It's about 70% on their Kritzkrieg. They're looking to get very, very, very aggressive with this. And it's going to be interesting to see how it works for them with only a few frags being traded between the two teams. But Vinty gets taken down by Mojo with a huge backstab onto Vinty.
And that does give Daze a 50% crit add on. For Vinty, will he come back up on Kritzkrieg? And yes, he does. He really, really wants to destroy the other team with Kritzkrieg.
We can see times being very close for the two teams, so it's anyone's game at the moment. But with that full Kritzkrieg coming up now for Daze, it's going to be important they use that to try to get time on the point. And with only a few frags being traded, Edge getting a nice body shot onto Ankor, the soldier, or Paulson, the soldier for Ascension. And Cindy gets taken down for Ascension as well. And with Jono and T-Son being taken down for VD, with equal frags being traded, it's going to be interesting to see what going to happen here. Vinty comes up almost with his full Kritzkrieg advantage, or with his 50% Kritzkrieg advantage, and it's going to be important they use it with almost all of Ascension being wiped at the moment. It's going to be an easy mid for VD to take, and with only a minute on the clock, it is going to be super duper imperative that Ascension push out here and try to retake this point.
Oh, and Basty was at the red spawn, but unfortunately he does get denied. The VD is rather passive in how they're holding this point. What are your thoughts?
Well, one thing that was super important that you could see there was that while they were being super passive, they also had like players like Snowblind able just to muck around on Cliff and to get a few nice body shots onto JT, the sniper for Ascension, and deny a lot of that aggression. We just see the huge bomb coming in now from Paulson, but just gets denied by T-Son and Edge. We do see Mojo trying to get caught out as well, but that doesn't work. But then at that same point in time, we do see the Uber coming out now, and with equal frags being traded, but Ascension is wrecked completely, and that is a very decisive mid from VD. And we do see Snowblind with the sword kill onto Daze. I'm sure a few chat binds would have been spammed then as well. But we do see the soldier, Paulson, trying to get a bit of time on the point, but throwing his life away. We do see Ascension trying to push out now with equal times, with roughly equal times of the minute for each team. It's very important what happens here, and they're trying to play off that heals advantage with Dazed. But we do see spawns coming up now for VD, and Obla, you can take it away from me for this one. Oh, I think we've lost Obla, that's alright. And we do see now VD coming down lower cliff, trying to push out on to the point, with Dorky getting a nice stab onto Cindy there. So good work by Dorky in terms of denying that aggression. And with so many down for Ascension, this looks like it's going to be VD's point. And with them having a significant crit advantage as well, this looks like it could be their round as well. They're very much looking to hold this point for a long time and use his crits probably more defensively than aggressively, I would say.
Like, they can't afford to risk such a big play pushing up. And we do have only 40 seconds on the clock for both teams, and VD does have the crits, and I'm not too sure how they will play this.
One thing to note is you can just see Paulson in Connector just putting spam onto the enemy combo and really acting as a really good distraction for that combo. And I do see Mojo getting a nice backstep there onto Vinty, I think. The kill feed's moving so fast for me, I can't actually catch it. But we do see the point is still in VD's possession, and with 20 seconds on the clock, but Daze goes down, so it's 100% crits advantage for Ascension, and they're looking to push out. They need to use this, they need to get time on the point, or else they could lose this round. And with people with spawns just coming up, for Ascension. They need to hold this, and VD are pushing out now onto the point. They're trying to delay this cap as much as they can, but it seems to be going the way of Ascension. And with 35 seconds on the clock, that's enough time for VD to recap this. With all their spawns coming up now, it's going to have to come down to a DM fight. They're not going to get their crits in time. It's going to come down to what key picks they can get. But with JT getting a nice snipe on edge, there's going to be a lot of their push aggression going down. And we do see now VD pushing out onto the point with 15 seconds on the clock. They need to cap this up, and with only minor frags being traded among the two teams, this is what it's going to come down to, with Yuki getting a few nice stickies onto a few of the Ascension players. But this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be. Ascension are pushing out onto the point. They do not want to give this up. And with so much time on the point, VD need to push out now. This is make or break for Ascension on this first map. They do not want to lose it, and they are holding it. They are holding it to overtime, and it looks like this round is going to go to Ascension. As predicted, Obla, it's going to go 3-2. But will it go the way of VD or Ascension? I cannot speak. I am losing my breath, Obla, and oh, wow, this is a solid game from both teams. And my mum is knocking on my door saying, "Why are you screaming?"
And I am looking at Yuki up on cliff on this mid, spraying stickies onto the point, and he does catch a few stickies onto the scout. He's pushing up into the combo with the pyro and the medic, and he seems to be being denied by the other heavy. Oh, and he does get taken down by Mojo. Mojo does take down both Yuki and Vinti, which huge plays. I would be expecting them to fall back right now.
We can see Ferrella, the heavy for Ascension, just getting really aggressive onto the point there and making up a lot of room for his team. And those two frags from Mojo certainly opened it up for his team, as you mentioned. And with JT getting a nice snipe onto edge, that's going to be opening up a lot of space for his team. And we do see VD now on the minigun, not on the Kritzkrieg anymore. We do see the Kritzkrieg coming out at the moment from Ascension. Can they get any frags with it? No, they cannot. Or they get one onto Jono with a blind debt. Very nice work from Cindy there. And with JT getting a nice snipe onto Dorky, the spy for VD, it's going to be imperative they push out onto this. And with the point for Ascension, with already 40 seconds on the cap, VD needs to get out here, needs to get aggressive. And with their Kritzkrieg on 80, with their Medigun on 80%, excuse me, they're going to be wanting to push out and muscle the other team out completely.
We do have 2 minutes on the clock for Ascension, and it appears VD now does have position on the point, and Edge does get a very, very nice headshot onto Tease on the red pyro, and he's taking aim at a scout, but does not take the shot.
And we do see now VD just pushing on the point with that 100% Medigun with only 60% of that Kritzkrieg. 4 days. It's going to be interesting to see how this kind of comes into it with Ascension kind of trying to get that push from lower cliff up behind cliff. It's going to be interesting to see if Ascension want to go for a bomb here, or VD want to try to get a bomb, try to get the force up with. There we do. We just see the bomb coming out of base, getting on top of cliff, putting up a lot of nice damage there, and he does get a lot of nice damage onto that combo there. Can he force that crits out of the medic with the heavy? So lit! And the heavy goes down. Great work by Basey. That is opening up for his team, and so many frags for VD now onto Ascension. They just collapsed onto Ascension in that low
people
cliff.
Up for Ascension.
And that was great work by Basey. They're just leading the push from his team, getting so much damage onto the heavy and med. And crazy work there from VD.
And we do see the ad of VD on the medigun slowly dwindling due to the Kritzkrieg play of Ascension. And you keep pushing up into the combo, but fails to gain kills. And JT does get a very nice body shot onto edge, which will allow them to push much easier.
And we can see now Ascension are coming up with that Kritzkrieg, with 80% on the Kritzkrieg. And we do see the medigun coming up. They're just going to be equal. It depends who can pop it off first and get a good frag, but it seems like that is not the case. We do see the crits coming out now from Cindy. Can he get any frags with this? No, he can't. The Uber comes out from Vinti, but he's forced to multi to save his players. He still gets the better advantage here, because obviously crits always trumps Uber, but it seems that a lot of frags are coming out from Ascension onto VD, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. T-Son to start taking down Mojo there, but so many down for VD, and this is going to be a very decisive mid for Ascension. So much aggression there, so much anger coming out of Ascension. They don't want to take this map without a fight, and they're well aware that this round is the make or break for them, and they don't want to be back here on Thursday. They don't want to be playing another game. Well, they do want to be playing another game, but you know what I'm saying. They don't want to be back here on Thursday replaying this grand final, and they want to take this map.
And I do see 51 seconds on the clock for VD, and Ascension slowly narrowing out 1 minute 44. Mojo is hiding, and discussing the engineer, and he approaches Demo and does take off Yuki.
Great work by Mojo there, getting a nice pick on Yuki. Almost, but great work as well by They Call Me Engie, getting a pick on Mojo. And with so many down for Ascension at the moment, this is going to be VD's cap. Cindy's trying to come out with the med and kind of get aggressive on this. With the sniper up, he's not willing to try to defend this point, but Edge gets headshot by JT. And we do see the spawns just coming up now from VD. But with Ascension trying to get an aggressive forward hold on this point, it's going to be anyone's game at the moment. But with a minute on the clock for both teams, this is it. This is the make or break. I mean, 60% Krieg for Dazed on Ascension, and with only 40% Medigun for Vinty. Dazed is going to have his before, and Vinty is going to get it in time, but it's about how they use it. He needs to stay alive. He needs to not be so aggressive with his team. He needs to be giving his team, but he gets taken down. Great.
Wow.
Was that an engineer bomb? Was that an engineer bomb coming out of Ascension with a Wrangler jump? That's what I saw with the shotgun play coming out of Hyper. That one's for the frag vid, that's for sure.
That was amazing, and JT is going huge as a sniper. And we do have spawns coming up from both teams.
So many frag were down for VD there, but Ascension were very hesitant to get out and cap the point. They didn't want to push up in case there was a sniper there willing to get some snipes. And we do see Edge getting a nice headshot onto Hyper, and Dorky getting a nice Ambassador headshot on to Diley there. But with Paulson getting a nice bomb onto Edge, it could be anyone's game with a body advantage coming out for VD. They're looking to take this point, and with 30 seconds on the clock, Ascension need to contest this, but their medic is down. They don't have heals advantage. They're going to get the forward spawns, but this is going to come down to it. This is the mid. This is the one to watch, ladies and gentlemen, on the first map of the Australian Platinum Grand Finals, and we do have the map change. I told them to wait 3 minutes, the bastards.
Oh, this is so unfortunate. I did really, really want to see the very end of that match. What were the highlights?
Well, the highlights is I don't know who... Oh, sorry about this. I'm not sure which way that went. Take a quick break, have a drink, get your breaths back, and I'll be finding out what's going to be happening. I'll be pulling up some stats very soon and seeing what the go is.
Sounds good, and we do know that the next map is Badwater, which is, if I am not mistaken, Ascension's pick.
Definitely. I'm just going to talk us through a little bit of stuff here. Obs, if you can pull us up the stats page, that would be lovely.
Sure. Brodogs.
Definitely. And what we could see there definitely was aggressive play coming out of the two teams. Really solid aggression coming out from both teams. We don't actually know who took that round, but we will see. I will find out for you. A lot of aggression coming out from the teams, especially in the crits play. That is fine. We're just procuring those stats for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just getting word that VD took the map, so that is 3-2 Viaduct for VD. So they have taken that first map. So we might be going to 3 maps here. We might be going to 2. It especially depends. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is the Australian Platinum Grand Final, Velox Destruo versus Ascension. We just saw the first map, which was Velox Destruo's pick, which was Viaduct, and we're now going on to Badwater, which is the pick for Ascension, and the decider will be Viaduct again.
I do have the stats page up, but due to the pause, they are slightly screwed up. But as of 1-1, JT does have a massive top fragging of 23 kills and 5,000 damage.
That's lovely. If you could just link that to us, Obla, that would be great, so we can pull it up on stream.
And Cindy does get top damage at 7,000, which is not that far ahead of Yuki on 6,400.
Definitely, definitely. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the logs myself so we can get into them. You're right about the logs being slightly questionable. I'll just see what I can pull up from these logs. Okay, just due to the pause we can only see the one, but yeah, we can definitely see a lot of high damage coming out from Ascension and from VD, with Yuki and Cindy both top damaging, with Cindy just on 7k and Yuki on 6.4k. And a lot of frags coming out of the two teams, with the highest frags being JT, the sniper on Ascension, getting 23 on the Snowblind, the IM scout for VD, with 19. It's certainly going to be an important one, and that was a high energy game, definitely.
Yeah, I am hopefully looking forward to not that many pauses in the next game.
It's certainly going to be the case. And what do you think is going to be the make or break on this map? What do you think is going to win it?
I'm actually looking forward to the defense of the engineers, and especially on the third point in where they're going to put the level 3 sentry. Would it be on the ground or up in that little hut up there?
Definitely, definitely. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of engineer play comes out, especially on the first point. It's going to be interesting to see like how quickly that first point goes down. Obviously this is Ascension's pick, so it might be a map they know a lot better. Who knows, but as we could see how aggressive that game was there on Viaduct, I think it's certainly going to be very important.
One thing that's definitely going to be looking out for me is they call me Engie, and how he will deal with his level 3s and his Wrangler and his Rescue Ranger players, and how he will keep his level 3 sentry alive. What do you think?
I think it's definitely going to come down to that, and it's also going to come to how well teams can, especially on this kind of map. It's very important for your pyro and for your engineer to put in a lot of work on the first point, but it's also very important for your teams to wrap around and take care of that engineer, because if you have a really bad first hold and your engineer can't get to second, you virtually have to concede it. And especially in these kind of teams, they're very, very wary of making sure they deny that setup of the enemy team, so it's certainly going to come down to coordinated play. For this one, I'm actually tipping VD to take it again, not because they took the first map, but I think it's certainly going to come down to just their experience. As we said at the start, they've played 81 games of 81 official UGC games and lost 7, and I feel like they're a team that's tried, tested every season they've played in. They've won so far since season 8 in Australia, which was a conception. So I think it's certainly going to be tipped towards VD's favour, in my opinion. And that's not just because they're the favourites in my... Well, not favourites, but you understand what I'm saying. I feel like it's certainly anyone's game at the moment, but I feel like in terms of a map like Badwater, I feel like it might go the way of VD.
Definitely, I totally agree with you. I can't go against you in this, and I am also tipped against Ascension, and I am also predicting that this will be a VD map.
That said, like, tipping it towards VD, but Ascension have just come out and shown us what they're made of. It's very rare that we've seen a team be able to challenge VD as hard as Ascension have, and it's certainly very evident by that first map on Viaduct that these teams aren't messing around. This isn't an easy game for VD, and this isn't an easy game for Ascension. This is no holds barred. They're both pushing very hard to win this, and it isn't one team. It's not one-sided. It is very much down to the wire, and I think props have to be given to Ascension in that regard for being able to come here. It's their first season as a new team. As we mentioned at the start, they were formed looking to dethrone VD, the Highlander Kings, And it seems that they've certainly come very close to doing that, and they certainly can still do that. So I'm looking very forward to see what they can do and how they can bring it out.
I'm not sure if you noticed this yet, but we do see Dorky is now sniping for VD. I'm not sure if this is some pre-game fun or this may be the real thing, and Edge has also gone to Spy. What do you think of this? Would this be a game changer?
I would go so far to say no, because I feel like Edge, I've seen Edge play a lot of different games. For those who don't know, Edge is the inverted commas manager for VD, and he's very much a switchblade in terms of the amount of classes he can play. Very, very solid sniper, but also very, very solid spy. So if they do run Edge on spy, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. I feel like it's going to, it's going to be very solid. And we can just see there in the pre-game as well, Dorky getting a lot of nice frags.
And I do have word that the game will be starting very, very soon. And hopefully this time there will be no dropouts from any players on either teams.
Definitely, definitely. And we can certainly see an aggressive start coming from both teams. And we do see the start going out now. If you are just joining us, this is the Australian-New Zealand Platinum Grand Finals live on eXtv. Yow! And this is Ascension versus velox Destruo, the second map of the best of three. The first map going 3-2 on Viaduct, the way of VD. And yeah, this is the second map, obviously Badwater, and this is the first push with Ascension setting the time and VD defending.
Now I'm looking at the level 3 setup of They Call Me NG of VD up on this cliff as usual, but I do see that sentry is slightly closer towards the cliff.
This is some deep NG meta play if you've never played Engineer Obla. The point of doing this is so that he's able to get to the metal faster, so it actually saves him more seconds, so he's able to move it now, and he's opting for one that covers more of the entrance of the tunnel, which is a bit less of an aggressive sentry placement, but it denies them being able to just push the cart through and then get the spam back onto the sentry, so interesting choice. And we do see it coming out now with no frags being traded from the two teams, and it does seem like Ascension are going for a bit of a dry push here, seeing what they can do. We do see Mojo coming up now, getting a sap onto that sentry up on the cliff, but gets taken down by They Call Me NG. We do see the combo now coming out, getting very aggressive, the heavy going down, and that looks like a failed push from Ascension trying to get that sentry down, but it's going to be rinse and repeat, see what they can do again, see what kind of picks they can work.
Yeah, I believe that may be the first round of suicides, but the cart is being pushed, and Phyllis does get some really nice reflection of the rockets shot by the other soldier.
Very nice snipe from Dorky there onto Hyper, and we do see the cart just being slowly pushed under. Not a big concern for VD at the moment, that's not the big concern. We do see the combo now pushing out onto the cliff. The Ubers have come out from both teams, with Ascension getting a slightly better Uber, but the Pyro T-Son just able to blow them all off the cliff. And it's deny that crits. And I'd say that Pyro's actually blown me away as well. That Pyro play's blown me away in terms of being able to deny that push out onto the cliff. And what can you see here, Obs? They're going up hillside now with Edge just getting a nice backstab onto Cindy.
And I did see JT take out Dorky, and this is confirmed. I believe Dorky is playing sniper now. Mojo is sneaking behind into the defense, taking out the health pack and the full metal, hoping to sap that sentry down. It's still not down yet. What do you think their tactics will be to take down the sentry?
Well, initially they were looking to do like a suicide wave and see how that kind of went for them, but now with about a 20% Uber advantage for VD, they're looking to kind of build that up again and see what they can do. They're just going for a cliff push now. Their medic seems to be kind of hanging back below cliff, trying not to get headshot and just trying to build that Uber up. And with VD with that full Uber, the sentry does go down from Paulson, getting a nice direct hit onto that, and with Mojo behind, and he gets the stab onto Jono as well. T-Son's mad. T-Son can't find him though. Oh, poor T-Son trying to catch out Mojo, but Mojo gets called out there by Basty getting taken down. And this looks like VD just looking to pull back, They've used their Uber defensively, trying to get out, trying to save as many players. On the snowblind going down, so this is really, really good from VD. It's going to help them be able to get their sentry up in time, and they're going to look like they're going to be able to hold second quite comfortably with that first going in 2 minutes and 33 seconds for Ascension. Very nice, very respectable time.
I'm looking at the roof right now, and Vinti does go down, and I believe that the second point could not be held by VD.
VD just got destroyed on that roof. That was partly implied to the demo man and the heavy just coming up there and just getting so aggressive on the roof and just crushing that combo completely. And this is going to be a very decisive second for Ascension. VD almost wins here. They are well aware of getting that sentry set up at third point, and that is happening with They Call Me Indy. He's setting that sentry up on that third point, trying to get aggressive, and that is going to be a very quick cap with 3 minutes for the second point. It's going to certainly come down to hold that, how they hold third, especially.
And Dorky does get a very, very nice headshot onto Dorky, which gives defense approximately 40% Uber, and I will not expect them to push out. And it's very, very risky to push out on defense. I believe that is the general rule of Highlander.
One thing to note is Mojo is behind the engineer. Chuck the Mojo cam on, because he is behind and he has not been called out yet. He is just biding his time, waiting to get that coordinated sap coming in. And he's just poking and prodding. Can he get the stab? He gets the stab on the Engie! And this is going to be a conceded third point, probably, for VD. Because with that sentry down, they have lost so much pushing power. And T-Sun does not manage to get the sapper off in time with that home wrecker. So this is going to look like it's going to be important. But with a lot of frags coming out onto VD, they're going to have to back off this point. The Uber has been used from VD. But was that a drop from Dazed?
I'm not sure, but that was a very, very nice headshot from Dorky.
I didn't quite catch that, unfortunately. But we do see now Cindy coming up and just capping up that point. And this is going to be a very decisive third point for Ascension. And it's going to certainly come down to this last hold. They want to get that sentry up. They want to get that sentry going. And they don't want this to just be a roll right into the last from Ascension.
Do go down again. 4 minutes 28 for the third point. They Call Me NG is setting up very, very close to spawn, probably just to get the medal, and then pushing up, and does get spammed out by Paulson on the original.
One thing to note is this was Ascension's pick for map, and I think it's very obvious they have planned this. They have looked at this map very thoroughly, and they know the ins and outs and what they need to do, especially in denying that sentry placement from the two teams. And there's so much aggression coming out from Ascension at the moment.
I believe it is a bit too early to say that it is Ascension's map, but I do want to see how they defend on this last hold.
One thing to note is that Vinci just got very, very forward then to catch his pyro and almost came in the sightlines of the sniper there for Ascension, but luckily he was taken down. But he was tempting fate there, definitely, in terms of almost losing that Ubercharge.
Both medics are at full Ubercharge, and Vinti is holding very, very close to choke. Very close to choke. Yuki does take down the mini sentry.
It's going to be very important to delay the setup for They Call Me NG, but he has got that setup going, so this is going to be a good hold coming out of VD here.
And Ascension's just dropping players. I believe that they do really want to push on this, but they cannot because they cannot get some team cohesion. And Cindy, I believe, is just trying to push around this corner, trying to take out this heavy. And he does go for a big bomb onto the sentry. And he gets it. He gets the sentry with the aid of Mojo.
Really good coordinated play there by Mojo and his demo man Cindy. Got a nice sap there and was able to pistol, put a lot of pistol shots onto They Call Me NG and make that really decisive. And you see the Uber actually being forced out from VD, but did Daze go down again? Did he use his Uber in time? I didn't actually catch that. I was so distracted by that sentry play.
Oh, me too. That was amazing.
From VD. We do see Basty coming in with a nice bomb there on to Cindy, and Cindy goes down, but we do see Ascension want to keep this aggression rolling into last, but with so many frags going down for Ascension, they're going to have to back off, and they're not going to be able to get this up and get in time, unfortunately.
I do want to see if They Call Me another... Sorry, They Call Me and you can get another sentry up in time.
Definitely, definitely. And here we do see Ascension pushing in, trying to get aggressive with this, and with VD trying to go for a very solid forward hold. It's going to be interesting to see how this kind of goes. Both teams looking to get their Ubercharge up, probably try to go for some coordinated aggression again. We do see the scouts and the soldier near the behind enemy lines here, for Ascension. Paulson and Diley getting taken out, but certainly putting a bit of pressure there on the Snowblind.
That is certainly correct.
Mojo is in that alcove underneath map room. He tries to pistol down the medic, or get a headshot on the medic, but just gets taken out by the engineer's sentry. Bit of a questionable play there, I would say.
I'm not sure if Ascension knows, but they do have a massive 80% Uber ad. I want to see how they want to use this. I do see that they do want to push around this choke.
Given the defensive position of the Uber, they really want to get a coordinated sap in first. They're waiting for Mojo to get down there and try to do something with it, and that's what he is doing. He's looking to jump down and get below there. He's uncloaked. Has he been called out yet? No, he's pistoling down the sniper, and he gets that pistol, that l'étranger, down onto Dorky, and he's jumping down. He's getting the sap on the sentry. This is going to be the time that Uber in if they use it. But did their medic get dropped with so many down for VD? This is it. This is the map for Ascension. This should be round.
Daze did drop to Mojo just before he pushed around the corner, but I believe that their team has enough DM to take out that sentry, and it appears that this may be their round on 8 minutes.
This is going to be Ascension's round with 8 minutes and 34 seconds. That is a very, very, very respectable time. And what we can do here, right on the scores, is Cindy with a massive 34 points. Like, putting in a lot of work for his team at the moment in terms of being able to open up space and get some work done. But we can also notice that Dorky is leading in terms of on the damage, but that is obviously probably from him pushing the cart, etc, etc. I don't actually have logs up at the moment, but a lot of good work coming out of these two teams.
I believe the logs may be broken yet again. I'm not too sure what is happening with that, but we do see the usual cliff hold on the stairs point up on the cliff.
Definitely, definitely. And just looking at the logs from that half, we do see that Dorky leads the frags with 10 kills, Paulson leading, coming second with 6. And we do see in terms of damage, Yuki with a massive 3k, Jono with another 2k, and Basty with a 2k. So certainly the damage and frags are looking to be going in the way of VD. But we do see now VD are looking to push out.
And JT does get a massive snipe onto Yuki, so prevents a massive bomb. And T-Son does go down the pyro for VD.
You seem to be seeing the same thing again, a bit of a suicide wave coming out. We do see Basty trying to get a nice bomb onto the sentry there. But the sentry's only level 1. I don't know what's happened, if it went down, or if it was taken down prematurely, or what happened there, but the sentry is not a level 3 yet.
I believe it may have gone down.
I didn't quite catch that, unfortunately, sorting out logs, etc. But we
Edge
do...
is on Spy, trying to pistol down the sniper.
We do see VD trying to come around cliff with the Uber coming out. Dorky getting a nice headshot onto Diley, but with the Uber advantage being a significant way of Ascension with 100%, it's going to be imperative they hold on to this. And Edge just gets caught out by Phyllis McBean, whipping out that reserve shitter and just getting a nice shot onto him.
Dorky does drop Daze yet again, and this may trigger a second point defense for Ascension.
Definitely, definitely. And we're going to see now the players from Ascension just dropping down, trying to get that pressure off the cart. VD are pushing out now with the sentry down for Ascension. They're looking to back off. They don't want to make the same mistake that VD made last round in terms of leaving that setup on second too late. And that seems to be what they're doing. They're just backing off, conceding this first point, and seeing what they can do. With 6 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, it's still a very respectable time for VD to be able to get in and push this point.
Ooh, I'm not sure if you saw that. Sin does get a gamer kill onto Yuki, the other demo. Surely there must be some binds in the chat for that.
Definitely, definitely. And we do see Dorky there getting a nice snipe on to Ferrella, and Basty just dropping down that sentry, trying to get a lot of pressure onto the engineer from Ascension. And we do see all the VD just funneling through this choke point here, trying to stop this sentry from being set up. But it is there. It's only level 1 at the moment, and with the amount of ammo packs on the top, it's going to be imperative that Hyper gets set up as soon as possible.
And this is the Blue Sword going for a big bomb, basically, but does not get anything. And Jono coming in does take down the sentry on top of the second point.
Definitely, and we do see the sentry was taken down, as you stated, but VD still haven't pushed this point with 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. They need to get a fast push through second, or else this map is not going to be theirs. A lot of aggression coming out from Ascension in terms of going a very forward hold, trying to stop VD from pushing up and getting that sentry down. We do see Dorky getting a nice snipe onto JT there for Ascension.
That would surely aid the push of VD onto this, and they do seem to be sneaking around the back. The Uber is popped by VD, sneaking up to the...
We do see VD just ignoring any indication of the combo on second, and just going and pushing and getting that cap, denying the forward spawns from Ascension, and now VD has got to capitalize on this. Ascension have really been caught off guard, but the level 3 is already up at third, so maybe they knew that this was coming. This was going to be happening, because we do see VD coming out now with a lot of aggression with 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. This game is still in anyone's hands. It's certainly very important for VD to get a solid third push, get that sentry down and try to roll it all the way to last if possible.
I'm seeing Hyper with his level 3 sentry up this time in the usual spot, up in the hut, with the Pyro just standing there guarding right next to the dispenser in preparation for Edge, the Blue Spy.
Definitely, definitely. And we do see Edge getting a nice backstab onto Dazed, and that signals the Uber to come out of VD. They just need to clean up frags here. This is going to be looking like it's going to be a third for VD, and this is still anyone's game with so many players from Ascension going down. They need to get back, and VD needs to be pushing this cart with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. This is some high energy gameplay, high energy strategy coming out of the two teams, and VD needs to make sure they're in there stopping that sentry rebuild. That's what they're doing. They're all just stacking the cart, getting some nice time there and looking to push up.
They're just coming around the choke, and there are sticks just on the other side of that corner, and they do get tossed up. Wow, this is some pretty energetic play. And we do see that VD does have approximately a 30% Uber advantage on top of Ascension, who is also running Medigun.
Definitely, definitely. And we do see now VD just trying to push in and muscle in. With 3 minutes, they've got that Uber. Now it comes out of VD. VD have got the Uber. They're pushing down to get that sentry down, and it is being wrangled. They need to get damage onto this sentry. The sentry has not gone down yet, but it is very, very lit, and it needs to go down. With so many of VD just going down, they committed so hard to that push, and they weren't able to get the frag onto the sentry. With so many frags being traded across the team, it's just dependent on who comes in here and cleans it up. It's going to be so important to get that sentry down.
They call me, oh, this is Hyper doing great work on the sentry. And the big bomb comes in and... Ooh,
what is Edge doing? Edge is just standing there pushing the cart, and he should have been in there sapping the sentry. Basically just bombs in, it gets cleaned up by the sentry. Massive misplays from Edge there. He should have been in there getting a sap on the sentry and just helping his team push in there.
Basically does take out Hyper, who was the NG for defense. And I'm not sure if they're going to take on this and capitalize on this kill, but it appears they will not.
And we do see now VD coming in, getting very aggressive on the point. Yuki getting taken out by a sticky trap from Cindy. Oh, very interesting play coming out here from VD. They're going to have Uber up. They need to push in. Now, this is the time. This is the make or break moment. VD need to win this round, and they're pushing in now. Coming down, a lot of aggression coming out of VD right now. Ascension need to get this sentry, keep this sentry up, but there's so much spam going onto the sentry now, and so many down for VD, for Ascension, excuse me, and the sentry does go down for Ascension with so many frags down. VD just need to stack the card, and this is their game. Could this be it? Could VD be taking the grand final for a year in a row? VD Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it with so many people just pushing the cut and so many frags being traded across the cut? VD is stacking the point with a minute to go. This looks like it's going to be VD's round. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. VD have taken the grand final for another year in a row, taking both maps off Ascension. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this has been some great high quality TF2 coming out from both teams, and really good work from Ascension and from VD. But VD showing once again they are the uncontested masters. But as it was mentioned at the start, there will be, because VD were from the lower bracket, another grand final needs to be played. They haven't won it yet, unfortunately. They're going to be replaying that game later in the week, supposedly on Thursday, but that might be changed around. So VD aren't grand final winners yet, unfortunately. We can celebrate, but don't celebrate too hard, because they've got to come back and prove they can do it all over again later in the week.
Wow, that was one amazing game. I was so excited for that, and there were some great plays out from both teams. But ultimately, VD did take the upper hand on both maps, and they did take the match.
Definitely, definitely. And we are going to be getting some people in from VD to have a bit of a chat with us. But while that's kind of going on, let's have a look at these logs and let's see what we can see here from the two teams.
I'm going to bring up the logs right now, and I don't believe that it worked out.
No, they're still broken, unfortunately.
We'll have to make do while we wait for some team players to come in the Mumble.
Definitely, I think we're just going to get Edge in, and I'll just tee him up with some information. Definitely, and as we can see, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. The Australian-New Zealand Platinum Grand Finals, VD taking both maps, taking Viaduct and Badwater. Viaduct was 3-2 and Badwater was 1-0. Great play coming out of VD. And yeah, great play out of VD. I'm not quite sure what to say. We're just going to be getting Edge in for a little bit of a chitty chat. And yeah, then we'll be wrapping it up. What did you think out of those two rounds? Obla, were you expecting it to be such a quick game? I was really hoping it would go to a third map. No, Obla just messaged me, said he's back getting a bit of fruit. Healthy choice, love to see that. Especially on stream. How's your fruit going, Obla?
Oh, it's actually quite delicious. It is now mango season in Australia.
Oh, classic, mate. Yeah, we're just getting Edge in. While we're getting Edge in, we might as well sort out some shout-outs between you and I. Do you have any shout-outs for us, Obla?
Yes, I do. I would like to shout out NKH for providing the server for tonight. Thank you very much. I'd like to give a shout out to my friends at Voidwatch and Conquer MGE. Go practice on Conquer MGE. What are your shout outs, Oxy?
I got a fair few shout outs. Shout outs to Jeff. Shout outs to Dashner for working so hard over the last kind of couple of days. Oh great, don't do this phone. One moment.
That's alright.
Sorry, mate. We'll cut this out of post. Don't worry. Shout out to Dashner and Jeff for making this so enjoyable and so easy to cast. Thank you, Obla, obviously, for joining me. This is Obla's first time casting, so apologies if I took away some of the limelight from you.
That's alright. It was extremely fun to cast. And yeah, thank you to Dashner and thank you to Brodogs for being on the production and the cams respectively.
Definitely. Thank you to Brodogs for all your hard work. For those who don't know, Brodogs does a lot of Australian streaming of 6v6, and we'll put some links in the video description for you to find some of his great Australian 6v6 content. I would definitely recommend checking out his stream. I would also like to thank everyone who's been so supportive by setting this up over the last couple of days. The two teams, obviously, Ascension and VD, for making the cast possible.
And we do now have Edge and Vinty in the Mumble. Congratulations, Edge, and great game, Vinty. That was extremely, extremely close.
Hello. Thanks, guys, for casting.
How did you feel about that game? Especially, I'm not sure if you're watching any of the cast, but on Viaduct especially, I was screaming at the top of my lungs for a lot of it. Were you guys feeling pretty confident coming into this, especially given that you guys had lost against Ascension just so close to this game? Were you guys feeling confident, or how are you feeling?
Felt good, to be honest. We had a lot more classes, people on the right classes, I think, for that map. It was just a matter of people trying to really just get momentum going and flow with it, because it's been a while since we actually played together with that particular team.
Definitely, definitely. How did you guys feel going into Badwater? It certainly felt like there was a time, because it felt like there was a time where Badwater might not have been a prospect for you guys to win. It certainly felt like I was on the edge of my seat. I was thinking it would go to a third map, especially given how you guys weren't able to set up at second. So, like, it certainly felt like, were you guys feeling confident, or were you guys kind of just going with the flow and seeing how it went?
We had a pretty good first hold versus them, so we knew if we got their sentry down pretty quickly and just get on pushing the car, I think we're pretty confident we'll do it. And as you saw, like, the last minute that we had on the clock was the exact same time as they took to get our first hold down, so it kind of worked out quite well.
Definitely, definitely. And just wondering, Edge, I've got word that you guys need to play another grand final again on Thursday, given that you've won this one coming from the lower bracket, if that's correct.
Yeah, that's right. So I wasn't really a favour of this particular role, but it's been there for the past couple of seasons. So we'll need to play again on Thursday night, and pretty much we know if Thursday takes everything.
Definitely, definitely. And how are you guys? What's it looking like for VD? You guys, there's word of you guys possibly not coming back next season, or is this your last season? Or you guys have been around for so long and have been known as basically the undefeated team in Australia and the idols to look up to and build a shrine in your bedroom if you're a Highlander player. So, what are your prospects, or how are you guys kind of feeling?
Yeah, it's the reason we keep playing, even though we win seasons, is we have fun as a team just playing Highlander every Monday. And I guess that's the case if people are still keen to keep playing and we're still having fun, we'll definitely be back next season. But one other thing to consider is, personally for me, I don't really have as much time to admin stuff anymore. I was meant to be back up this season, didn't quite work out that way, so if we do come back next season, it should be under someone else running the team.
Definitely, definitely. And I'll just have one question for you, Vinty, before we wrap this up.
Yeah, sure.
Especially looking at the first map you guys played on Viaduct, I noticed that you were pushing for Metagun a lot of the time against their crits. And how did you kind of feel about that? Like, was Metagun, like, you prefer a slower style of play? Or I just found it personally interesting as a medic main myself. I usually prefer to run if I like it if both teams run Metagun on Viaduct. And I'm not a big fan of being forced into the crits exchanges.
Yeah, you might have been able to sense my reluctance to change the crits. Not a fan of it myself, even in sixes. People that know me, I have run crits like 3 times in the past 4 years of playing it. So yeah, it's just, I don't like it, really. But my tracking was a bit off, and crits is easy to track, so I switched to it. And Yuki on demo is pretty good too, to have a crits in hand, so yeah, that was kind of the mindset behind it. It wasn't just personal preference, really.
I do have a question for Edge.
Yo, what's up, shit?
Yeah. You did change class for the second map. Was there a reason for this? Was Dorky really wanted to play Sniper on Badwater, or what was the reason for this?
Well, for the past 6 seasons, I think I've been playing kind of main Spy. Spy is pretty much probably the most effective Highlander class I play. But I thought it might be a good idea to run sort of a dual sniper sort of thing in in Via, mainly because I can kind of snipe, not so much tonight, unfortunately. Aim was a bit off, but Dorky's really good at amp, so I thought that might be a bit more effective, just because how confined Via is and how prone you are to pyros. But I think personally, probably the second map probably worked better, which is for normal classes.
Alright, that's a perfectly good reason. And that will be the questions from me.
Yep. Let's just do some shout-outs for everyone on stream. I've just been told Brodogs doesn't want to do some shout-outs, but I'm going to do some shout-outs for Brodogs. Shout-outs to myself, Brodogs, for streaming. Shout-out to everyone who's going to go over and check out my stream and check out some of the great quality Australian sixes that are on my YouTube channel, and you can find all the links. And shout-out to Dashner for helping me out. Edge, what shout-outs do you have for us, man?
Firstly, shout out to you guys for casting us. Thanks a lot. It was looking forward to watching how that unfolded from your view. Shout out to Ascension. Thanks for playing tonight. It was a really fun match. Shout out to my team. Thanks for turning up and playing well as well. And thanks to everyone that's watched. Also, shout out to Max and NKH. Thanks for providing us a server and also giving us a little incentive of MVP prizes.